Good afternoon to everybody who has joined from Africa and also from other parts of the world. I'm Sophie Treinen. I'm very pleased to actually welcome you to this first day of this training program that we have on participatory video. This initiative is not done only by FAO, but it is done with many partners. And I would like to actually introduce them. So we have Digital Green. We have the University of the Philippines of Los Baños with the College of Communication. And we have also Yen Casa Africa, which is a regional initiative on communication for development. So you're here because we are starting these 5 days of training. And this training will take place, of course, today, but also on the 22nd, the 24th, the 28th, and the 30th of November. And all the dates are now being put in the chat for you to remember. Also, as you have done it today, it is important that you register for each and every day of the training program. And we are putting the dates in the chat right now, and as well as the recording links for the next days. It is important that you register for each and every day because this enables us to have also the recording of the facilitation program. And you will be able to see this. Actually, if you missed one thing, you can watch it again on what will be the mini site. We are trying to make this as interactive as possible, and this is why we have also decided to have a community of practice that will be on WhatsApp. And if you haven't joined the WhatsApp group yet, Uloma, my colleague, is actually putting in the chat the link so that you can actually register and join us. Also, as we don't know each other very well at the moment, what I would suggest you to do is actually to name yourself well. So, for example, me, it's Sophie Treinen. I'm working for FAO, so I have put FAO in parentheses. For you, as you're coming maybe from a country, what you can do is to rename yourself. How do you do that? Very easy. When you see your name, you click on the right top corner. Do you see there? There you have 3 little dots. And when you click on these 3 little dots, you can actually rename yourself. So I kindly ask you to make sure that we know who you are and from which country you are. This will also enable us to actually put you in the appropriate working group later on today. So I would really invite you to rename yourself to show from which country you're from. So this would be great. Also, a little tip for you. I know that sometimes it's easier to join us from a mobile phone, but we really invite you to actually do this from a laptop. And that will be a lot easier because when we have the working group, then you can actually go to the Jamboard with us. You can write on it. So it can be more interactive. So these are the things that I really welcome you to do. Then what is important for you to know is that, yes, at the end of this training program, you will have a certificate. But to get your certificate, it's important that you do attend at least 4 of 5 of the training days. And that you participate, of course, in the group activities and that you will also contribute with a video. So this is an important point for the certificate. And now there is another thing that I would like to tell you, and this is important, is that we have decided to actually have a mini site, a mini website, where we have put all the information about this training. And so what I will do, I will just share my screen for a few seconds, so that you can see how the mini site looks like. Uloma is going to put the mini site link in the chat. And as you see in the mini site, you have, here is the home page about the regional training. And I will just guide you through the menu so that you understand where to find things. So here we are on the home page. Then you have the information about the training with the objective and the training modalities. Then we have another tab, which is the training references. And this will be the background material, the presentation material. We have also a guide, a manual that you can use, so you will be able to find it there. We have little assignments, so they will be there. We will have the recording, as I mentioned, for this training, and also other resources. So this is the place where you can find this all. Then there will be the training outputs. It's actually what you will be doing. And then we have also the training evaluation, because we would like to know how this went on. So this is just to show you very briefly how the Google site looks like. And this is where you're going to find a lot of the information that is necessary for you to be able to know what we do and where we are. So with this, just a second, please. I would like to continue. So now you have been.
Let's try zooming.
Yes, just try to mute yourself. So you have now all the dates. You have the registration links. You have the link to the WhatsApp group. You have the link to the mini site, and you know how you can join us and interact with us. During this program today, you can use the chat so that you can ask questions, and we will be able to answer to them. So now, without any further ado, I would like to actually welcome a few speakers for the opening. And I will start with Mario Alcunzo. Mario is actually the head of the Communication for Development team in FAO. So Mario, I'm very pleased to see you, and please open this training. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sophie. Thank you all for being here today. This is a challenging experience, working online and sharing online this information and the knowledge about using participatory video on the ground. This effort, this training has been designed based on several requests from farmers' organizations, especially community media, practitioners on the ground. They really want to appropriate video. In particular, participatory video. Participatory video is a methodology that has been crafted during many years, has been implemented not only by FAO, but also other partner organizations such as Digital Green and the College for Development Communication that is here helping in this training. So it's a trust of collaborative effort and a partnership to generate and enhance capacities, especially in developing country and in Africa, in this case, of farmers' organization to make use of video as an interactive and participatory tool for knowledge sharing, access to information, and to foster active engagement of people. We know that through video, and we will discover and we will check throughout this training, several things can be done. We can document our own realities, we can share our own views. So there are several ways of utilizing video, but video has to be planned and utilized systematically, as many other communication efforts and communication activities that have to become part of our daily work. So we always refer to this as a communication for development, a framework under which we identify needs of the people, their own characteristic, the most suitable media, and just after all that, after recognizing all these needs and priorities and opportunities, we define the media we have to use. And in this case, video. And video is one of the most suitable medium because it's really reflect the realities, no? Reflect the realities. You will learn here a participatory methodology, meaning identifying how to include the use of video in your own daily work, how to craft a message with and for the people, and how to display, how to share video in group sessions, but also online. Because today we are lucky, we have all this opportunity to use electronic media, digital media that can help us sharing on a large scale. But all of this has to be done in a participatory and inclusive way. So understanding who really can access these tools, these media. This is not often the case for many people, unfortunately, especially in remote areas of Africa and remote areas of other continents too, where maybe electricity is not available. So there are different ways for appropriating the use of these tools, really at the grassroots level, at the community level, at the local level, so this is the main purpose of this training is to build the capacity, and all the participant here should also have the similar feeling in being committed to share whatever they learn with their own organization, to facilitate, to be like a kind of an intermediary or somebody who facilitates certain knowledge sharing processes, facilitating others to access this knowledge and this information. This is our main commitment, and I think this is the philosophy of Young Casa Africa, that is the initiative through which this training is being delivered in partnership with the other organizations that I've been mentioning. You will learn more about Young Casa Africa that provides this opportunity for capacity development and support in communication to African organizations, farmers organizations, and rural institutions. So I really hope you will enjoy and will take advantage of this training for you personally as an individual, as a practitioner, but also for your community and your organization. And we look forward also to your proposal at the end of this training for the follow-up, because this is just the beginning of a journey, and we hope you will be linked and connected through Young Casa, and you continue sharing among yourself your experiences applying participatory video. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario. And Young Casa Africa, the regional initiative, has also different members, and we have one of the organization here, which is Farm Radio International. And I welcome now Rex Chapota for his welcoming words. Rex, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for this opportunity to speak to the distinguished participants in this first session of the participatory video training. And I serve under the Young Casa Africa as a co-convener of the Young Casa Africa, and it's a great honor for all of you to come to this training, because there is nothing more exciting now than to build the capacities of African rural development practitioners in digital media, as participatory video as an example. So maybe just to say a little bit that I appreciate all the protocols in this meeting from the FAO, the members of the YENCASA, the facilitators from Digital Green and the University of Philippines, and also indeed all the distinguished participants feel very welcome. And just to make a mention that the YENCASA Africa, being a regional initiative, is geared to enhance knowledge and experience sharing in communication in support of agriculture and rural development in sub-Saharan Africa. And that's why we encourage opportunities for sharing and learning and training as the one we are doing now. Therefore, we hope that this training will be very beneficial to your organization, and not only to your organization, but to the peoples of Africa in the rural communities. As we are all aware, the YENCASA Africa mechanism is part of the implementation of the UN Decade of the Family Farming. And under the UN Decade of Family Farming, we do recognize the pivotal role that communication plays in advancing family farming and indeed enhancing the capacity to deliver innovative services. And one of the tools that we can use in Africa, which is a potential tool with the coming in of WhatsApp applications on mobile phones, with the coming in of infrastructure across the continent, video and participatory video is one of those tools. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, as you participate in this training, it is not just because of the certificate, but it's because we believe at YENCASA Africa that this capacity is very, very critical to help the family farmers out there to understand and also to be able to be part and parcel of delivering solutions on issues that affect them. Therefore, I want to wish you all a great, successful 5 sessions of this participatory video training. And I want to applaud Digital Green and the university and FAO and all others that have been participating in the organizing of this training. All the best. I can't wait to see how it will end in the coming 5 sessions, because this is a critical capacity that we're delivering in Africa and will go a long way in meeting the needs of family farmers. All the best. Thank you so much. Have a great workshop and training. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rex. And it's nice actually that we can actually have radio and video together to actually reach better and have more voice heard. And now I would like to give the floor to Nandita Mishra from Digital Green. She's the Senior Manager Program. And we have developed all this curriculum with Digital Green. So Nandita, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Sophie. So first of all, a very, very warm welcome to all the participants. And I believe that the next 5 days would be very interactive, and we would be learning from each other and enhancing our own capacities also as we undertake this session of training. So but Digital Green, as you all know, has been in this stream for the last 15 years, where we have been making participatory community-based videos for the community, used by the community, so that more and more knowledge can be disseminated in the communities. Having said that, a lot of changes have happened over the last 2 years, where we see that the digital learning capacity can be scaled and can be replicated at a more faster pace. So the need for capacity building within the communities to make such videos has arisen more and more. And here we are trying to facilitate the same need that has come from the farming community across the world, where they want to use digital tools for self-learning, for peer learning, for experience sharing, for best practices sharing, therefore scaling up the whole ecosystem of the agriculture and farming ecosystem. Having said that, Digital Green brings in this expertise of creating these participatory videos within the communities, and we will just try to unbox that how we have been doing so far for the last 15 years, and how today we can collaborate and extend this same learning to more and more farmers across the world. So having said that, I think I'll ask Sophia to take over again. Thank you so much and welcome again. And I'll be meeting you in the sessions that would be following in the coming days. So I look forward to a very interactive session from each one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nandita, for your nice words. And so now we are reaching a place where, a moment where we would like to know more about who are you? So we will have a few polls and we will start immediately. So I will ask my colleague, Catherine, to actually share the first poll. And we just would like to know, okay, what is the years we have in this meeting room? So, what is your age? Can you share the poll? Yes. Are you below 35 or are you above 35? It's very easy. It's a yes or no. It's a 2 option, but only one is good. So I can tell you I'm above 35. But what we like is to work with people below 35 so that we can pass all our knowledge. So do not hesitate to give your information. 12% so far have replied, and 36 can, so it's only a third. So don't be shy, please. Please tell us a little bit more about you. At the moment, the majority are above 35. I give you 3 more seconds. 1, 2, 3. We are sharing the results. Do you see the results now? Perfect. So 75% are above 75. So let's get another question. So I think Catherine, you can launch the next poll. Okay, so now it's actually to understand a little bit more about the experience that you have. So do you have experience in communication for development? Please let us know. So I give you a few seconds to reply to this question. It's a yes or no, not very complicated. So at the moment, I have 65% of the people who are here who have replied. 71 now. Okay, I give you 3 more seconds to tell us a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. So now we are going to share the results. So actually, that's quite great. 73% of the people who are here who have replied have experience in communication for development, and for the 25%, 27% who does not have that experience, this is a great opportunity, because this actually training workshop will actually give you more information about what it is and will enable you to gain knowledge about it. Now we are going to have another little poll. It's to understand a little bit more about from which organization you're coming from, what type. So there are 2 questions here. We are asking you what type of organization do you work for? Is it the government? Is it a public organization? Or is it more a farmer organization? Or are you part of academia? Or to the contrary, it's different. It could be civil society. It could be other things that we haven't mentioned. And then also, for which type of sector do you work? Is it more about extension and advisory services, or is it more in communication services? Or maybe now more in digital services? Maybe some of you are working in farmer field schools, or nothing to do with what we propose. You're working in a different sector. So please do not hesitate to reply. So now we have about 20%, 58% of the participants who have replied. I hope that you can give us more information about yourself, so we know a little bit who are the people who are in the room. So feel free to add more information. So I give you 3 more seconds to let us know more about you. 1, 2, 3, and I stop the poll, and I'm going to share the results with you immediately. So I hope you all see the results. So what comes out of it is that most of you do not come from the government or what we suggested, but so we have 23% coming from public sector, 19 from farmer organization, none from academia, and actually 58% from different sectors. And in which type of sector you're working? So the majority are working in communication services, so half of you. Then in extension and advisory services, and then other services, a little bit in digital services, and a little bit in farmer field schools. So this gives us an idea. So feel free to add more information about yourself in the chat, because we welcome this as well, and this is very nice. So now that we know a little bit who is with us today, about all the participants who are present, we are going to take a group picture. So this will not take very long. I just would like to have you to switch on your camera so that we can take a few group pictures and to know more about who is in the room. So if you just not for long, please, Sylvia, Sebastian, please switch on your camera, please, so we can see your beautiful face, and we can take a few snapshots of who is in the room. That will be really nice, and also for us to know more about who is joining. Anita, if you can switch on your camera, this will be nice. Or if you cannot, too bad. But let's take a few more pictures. Big smile. This is really nice. Great. So Elena, my colleague Elena, is also taking pictures. So Elena, were you able?
Yeah, I'm taking pictures. Not everyone showed up with a pretty face, but I'll do my best.
Okay, a few more smiles. Smile. You are taking into pictures. So this is great.
Thank you, everyone.
This is really nice. I like it. It's nice to see all the faces. So nice. So we know a little bit more about you. And what we are going to do now is to tell us a bit about us. But who are these people? Who are the trainers? So Elena, I would be really grateful if you could share the presentation of the trainers. So very quickly, we have a team from FAO. You have already seen a few of us, like Mario, myself, Francesco is also here, Sylvia, we have Paolo, we have Uloma, Elena, and Catherine. From actually, yes, we can go to the next slide. We have also another team coming from Digital Green. So we have Ayushi, who is going to tell us more about participatory video. And we have Alberto Troilo, who is the consultant who has been working a lot on this training and on the manual. So we can go to the next slide to have more people. We have the training team from Los Baños. So we have Edmund, we have Trina, and we have Rosa. You will be able to meet them during today and also the coming days. Yes, please, the next one. And this gives me then the opportunity to actually give the floor now to Francesco, who is going to guide us into the program of today and also our first session. Over to you, Francesco.
Thank you, Sophie. This is a hard task because we have so many things to do today and in the coming days. By the way, Mario in its presentation already said that this will be a very long journey that will last for 5 different sessions. But let's go into concrete. So today, besides the opening session, we are going to see into the details an introduction to the participatory video modular training series, trying to identify the different steps that we are going to approach during the different sessions. We are going to see the pre-production phase today, and in particular, how we select contents and how we can develop the contents in our stories through the video. We go to the program. We should try to understand how we are going to develop our training. Next slide, please. We know very well that participants have different expectations. The topics that we are going to approach are very simple. We are going to have an introduction today with an introduction, of course, of Young Casa Africa, because this initiative is framed within the Young Casa Africa initiative. In a few minutes, our colleague Sophie will present you more in detail. We are going to see also the role of participatory video in development. Our colleagues from Los Baños will tell us more about this. And then we start going really into content. The sessions will be in regards to the pre-production phase, how to identify the different contents, how to prepare a script, how to prepare a storyboard, the production, how to shoot a video, lighting mechanism, the post-production phase, meaning how we can edit a good video. And finally, a very important step, which is the video sharing. We know that after the production, the video must be shared. And this is, of course, one of the most important steps that we are going to approach during this journey in order to allow all of you to have horizontal knowledge sharing, gaining expertise in this context. So we are going to continue today with a preliminary basic step, which is a pre-assessment and knowledge in regards to the participatory video. Next slide, please. We are going to have some group work. The group work is a methodology that we are going to adopt in every single session of the training. So once we have understood the level of your expertise and knowledge, we are going to work into groups and see how to better use the participatory video in your group, in your work, but also which are the main obstacles that you could have in developing participatory video. Next slide, please. The group work will be automatic. You will be automatically assigned to a particular group. And then when we go back in the plenary session, a rapporteur will show the outcomes of a common reflection to all the other participants. So in this process, we know that, as I said, there is a pre-production phase, understand how to use participatory video, but also get familiar with the process of identifying the contents and understand the script writing process. Next slide, please. In the session 2, we are going, therefore, to define what we mean by core content. And we are also doing this in a kind of interactive way with question and answers. And finally, we will try to wrap up our day 1 with all these activities that will continue in 2 days, the 22nd. A third session will be done the 24th, and then we will be back together the 28th of November, and finally the 30th of November. So in the other days, we are going to see all the other small steps of the production process. One thing is really extremely important, colleagues. As Mario said, this will be really a long journey, because we will be together for 5 different sessions, and this will continue after the training. The training is just a preliminary step of a process that we would like to continue with you. And this process will continue through a community of practice. Many of you have already registered on the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group is just a way to exchange knowledge and get expertise. But we are also going to coach you and give you technical assistance in order to allow the projects and institutions to include participatory video as part of their work. So all this, of course, will be meaning sharing, working together, and try to use the tool in another more successful way. Now, we are always, as it happens in these occasions, running against... we have another presentation. Please go ahead with the second presentation, where we try very shortly to sum up the different steps. We know that you have some expectations. We have seen this in the registration. Gain more knowledge. How explore the using available resources to apply the video, for instance, using smartphones, but also use video in order to share knowledge and best practices among practitioners, and of course, how to apply the video in conducting and delivering some other training courses that might happen. Please, next slide. As I said, there are a few key objectives. There is a general objective, which is, of course, to enhance the capacities of producing and sharing participatory video, strengthen this capacity, assist the practitioners in the applications of the participatory video, but also facilitate this horizontal knowledge sharing, this experience sharing and collaborations among us. We also expect some outputs, of course. So we would like to improve the production of video skills and sharing techniques. We would like an active participation from you, of course, involving all the participants with a community of practice that I already mentioned before. Next slide, please. Finally, as I said, we have different dates: 20 today, 22nd, 24th, 28th, which is next week, and 30th of November. Each session will last 2 hours and a half, and we will use what we call synchronous and asynchronous modalities, meaning presentations online, but also working into groups. We are going to have 5 group work. And we will also have some assignments. we use different platforms. We are using right now this Zoom platform, but as Sophie mentioned before, we have a mini site. We are going to use the WhatsApp group in order to share and exchange information. We will use also the Big G, the Google will assist us with the Jamboard for the work group, but also with some Google forms that we will request it to fill out. Next slide, please. So we have the different sessions. The first one today is about the process. The second day will be dedicated about the pre-production phase. Then we are going to have the production, post-production and sharing, and finally implementing participatory video in our own realities. So you will see it's really a comprehensive I would say, approach to this mechanism and to this communication tool. Next slide, please. Now, my colleagues already said this at the beginning, thanks, Sophie, but to receive the certificate of completion, you need to attend at least 4 out of the 5 sessions that we are going to deliver. This is important. Each one of us will receive the certificate. But as you understand, we can deliver the certificate only to the participants that could follow at least 4 out of the 5 sessions that we are providing to you. Next slide, please. Finally, I would like to thank you for your attention. And I give back the floor to my colleague, Sophie. Why? Very simply to explain what Young Casa is and where we are framing this initiative. So, Sophie, I give you back the floor for a very good presentation on Young Casa, please.
Thank you very much, Francesco. So, Young Casa, what does it mean? Actually, Young Casa is coming from an Akan expression of Ghana, and it means our talk. So we are really into the communication. And Young Casa Africa is actually a regional communication initiative, which is for communication and rural development. So let's go to the next slide. So I mentioned that Young Casa Africa means our talk. So we are discussing about communication for development in agriculture and rural development. And what do? We want to develop the communication for development capacity. So this training program is exactly reaching that first purpose. Then we would like to support rural communication policies and services in the region. And you probably are part of projects, or are you doing this for your organization already? So we want to continue hearing from you, learning from you, and sharing your experience with others. And then to set up communication of practices. Next slide. Young Casa is, as an initiative, as a governing body. So promoted by FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. We have other partners, and you met already Farm Radio International, who is also co-facilitating the initiative. But we are also having our sister organization, the International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD. Part of Young Casa, we have Digital Green, and Namdita is one of their representatives. But we have also farmers' organizations, such as the Pan-African Farmers Organization, PAFO, La Via Campesina, PROPAC, ROPA, and then communication organizations such as AMARC, the World Association of Community Radio Broadcasters. So you see, radio is important, but video as well. So let's continue and see now a little bit more in the next slide, how we are distributing this work. So we have created what we call part communication plan. And it's important, this participatory video, but it is important to have participatory communication so that we have voice heard and we are giving the possibility of this voice being heard in reinforcing what our activity is. So first block, the participatory communication. So we need to raise awareness. And we are doing this in the framework of the UN Decade on Family Farming. And it's important to raise the awareness about what's happening on family farming. And when we say family farming, it's not only farmers, there are also people working in forest, in fishery. So it's we englobe really everybody. So you could have public awareness campaign and outreach, and we do this at different levels, global, regional, and national. So for example, if you go to Yenkasa Africa website, you will discover all the radio campaign that have been done for the last years, and also the one that we are doing now. Then we mentioned rural communication services that we were supporting this. So we have projects and programs where we have embedded communication for development. So we have developed strategies, and very often radio, participatory video are coming as a support to these things. So it is embedded in the communication strategies. And what we are doing now, this is the communication capacities that we try to reinforce, and that's why we are invited you to come here, is to reinforce your capacities as a people working with producer or in producers organization, so that you're reinforcing also all the capacities with the new information and communication technologies. Yes, put it next slide. So what I have mentioned to you now in this previous slide is available more specifically at each and every level, and you will be able to actually read this when you go to our mini sites. Next slide, please. So Yenkasa, we have different means of communicating with you. So we have the website, the yenkasa.org, but we have also a Facebook page. This is the more interactive one, because people can share their information. We are publicizing what we are doing. So these are the very important aspects of Yenkasa. And now I will actually have my colleague Uloma to go a little bit more in the other aspects of what we are doing with Yenkasa, which are the community of practices. And you have heard already that we have one for this participatory video training. So Uloma, can you tell us more about this?
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, so based on the community of practice, we have different sections, different types of community of practice for this video training. And the purpose of this is to have a space where we all can share our learning experiences, network with each other, and discuss different issues regarding video, participatory video production and the sharing. And the objective of this, could you send the next slide, please? Thank you. The objective of this is to create a robust network of PV practitioners and also create a space for further ideas. Even at the end of the training we have right now, the WhatsApp group will still be open for everyone to communicate with each other. There's still a space where if you have an idea based on participatory video, we can share with each other via the committee of practice we have put in place. And so this committee of practice now, we have three components of it. That's the practitioner experience sharing and collaboration, which is this Zoom meeting we have on the 5 days where we come together, we discuss we present the various aspects of participatory video, and then we have group works where we work together, sharing knowledge amongst each other. Then we also have a PV repository, and this consists of two aspects, which is the mini site, the PV training mini site, which I shared earlier, as well as the YouTube, which would have all the videos for all training days. So you could rewatch it at the end of the training. Now, also the documentation, knowledge sharing, and networking. Please, could you go to the next slide? So this also is where we have the Zoom link, as well as the WhatsApp group, as I mentioned earlier. So we have this in place for the discussion and also the learning process. And it's always open for everyone to access, and everyone can use it. Please, next slide. I'm just trying to wrap up so we can keep to time rather. And also, this is what I've already explained. We have the WhatsApp group where we can interact with each other easily. We have the Zoom, which we are using now for the training, and then the group sharing. We also have the Yankasa website and the Yankasa mini site, which would have the participatory video. And then the YouTube channel also would be linked to all this. So you can also access at the end of the training. If you would like to rewatch all the videos, you can rewatch them on our YouTube channel. All the videos will be available there for you. So this is all we have for the community of practice, and I give it over to our facilitator, Francesco and Sophie.
Yes, and Uloma, you did a great job mentioning all what is online. And I would like just to say one more thing that is available is the manual. So this is something that you should not forget about. So if you are curious, do not hesitate to actually go in on the mini site and discover where is the manual, and to open the manual and see it. So I'll give the floor to Francesco.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Uloma. I see that in the chat there are many questions about sharing the presentations and sharing all the documents. So, colleagues, no problems at all. We are going to share all the presentations. A lot of materials are available on the mini site. So, no worries at all. We will follow you because we work together. So, no problems at all for sharing all the documents, all the presentations. Today, as I said, it is really an introductory step. And in this introductory step, it is fundamental also for you colleagues to understand the role of participatory video in development. We are specialists, and probably one of the most important among these specialists is Madame Stella Tirol, Dean of the University of Los Baños. And please, Stella, the floor is yours to explain us a little bit better how participatory video is important in development. Welcome, Stella. We can't hear you.
I was so excited to start my talk, Antonio, that I often forget.
Now, yes.
I often forget to press the unmute. So it's either I turn on the video first and then forget to turn on the microphone.
That's
so
because we do on video.
So now I am ready. So
Please.
Again, yeah. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to meet all our participants from Africa, especially coming from the different organizations and public service sectors. So for this session, we are going to discuss what we can do with video and how we can apply it as a communication tool to foster the development of people and the rural community. Next slide, please. Okay, so normally, or our common practice is that development researchers, our extension workers, and our development practitioners are the people who are mainly responsible in going to the community, identifying the problem of the community, searching for solutions, and later going back to the community to present a solution to that problem. But today, in video production, we are changing the process a little bit. And so now we involve the rural people and local community groups in diagnosing their own issue, their own problem in the community, in rural farming, and then discussing the causes and effects of this problem, as well as trying to solve the problem by adopting or promoting a particular technology. So when we do this, we are actually working or pursuing or using the approach called communication for development. And ComDev, as we call it simply, is a process that is participatory and includes almost all of the sectors of a community, leaving no one behind. So in participatory video, we involve, as Sophie has also mentioned earlier, the farming sector, the fisheries sector, the agriculture and nutrition, as well as other sectors. Now, ComDev is unique because here we gather and integrate how different people view a community issue, what are their perspectives, what do they think about the issue. And these people are the farmers, the local leaders, government officials, rural institutions, and subject matter specialists. I guess based on your experience, you would be getting different responses on how these different sectors or groups look at a community issue or problem. But then we have to put this together and synthesize in one prioritized problem so that we can solve it using video one at a time. In applying ComDev, we communicate with the people, with the community residents, and communication is also done by the people because they participate in the video production process, in the learning process, and the video is prepared most especially for their learning and development. So the video is really being produced for the people in the community. Hence, issues and solutions are very realistic. The issues and solutions are also very much localized. As such, the community gets to own the video because they themselves produce it and they themselves share it with others. Next slide, please. Okay, now different organizations can apply different types of communication approaches. As you can see here on in your monitor, we have corporate communication, communication within an organization. We also have communication where we advocate or raise awareness, and of course, our interests, which is communication for development. And for corporate communication, this is where private organizations usually disseminate information about their mission, their values, their activities to people outside of their organization. And so in communicating what the organization is all about, the private sector can use different media channels in sharing this information, either a website, either a flip chart, either a brochure, or a flyer. Now, regarding internal and external communication within your organization or within a particular government agency, this is where we use communication so that in the organization itself, we are able to have a smooth flow, let's say from bringing down a memo to the organization members so that they will get to understand and apply what the memo is all about. Also, in internal or external organization, people in the organization share information about the different projects that they are handling. And with internal and external communication, it is very important that all the news, all the articles about the projects, about the organization are always timely, are always changed every two weeks, and that we also talk about how organizations partner or collaborate and synergize with each other so that there will be no repetition or no duplication of the information that is shared. Now, what about advocacy communication? So in advocacy communication, there are particular issues that we would like to promote. For example, one of you may advocate for climate change adaptation. Another one will advocate for the nutritional value of crops. Another one would advocate for indigenous knowledge of a farming community. And so the target here, when we advocate for specific issues, we want to change policies. We want to use video so that when people watch the video, they will be able to learn something new and change their behavior as a result of the advocacy. So again, in advocacy communication or awareness raising, we use different communication methods. In particular, we use mass media if we want to disseminate immediately to a large group of audience a specific innovation or a new technology, so that immediately in 1 second, in one TV spot, in one radio spot, people will learn about that new technology. And again, with advocacy, the result of advocacy is that we enable or empower the communities to bring, to translate the issue, to translate the solutions in the form of policy. So that is what we do when we advocate for a development issue. And of course, to the more interesting part, communication for development. So as mentioned, this is where we involve different specific groups in our community. This is where we show them the video in order for them to learn and empower them about a new innovation, apply this innovation, and in the end, sustain change in their farming communities or in their farming activities. With communication for development, we want to bring information and communication resources equally to all members of the community, so that whether you are a farmer, whether you are a fisher folk, or whether you are a simple housewife, you are able to access information that you can use to improve livelihood and improve your life. And so with communication for development, we are very, very conscious of always involving the people, engaging them in a conversation or dialogue about their problem and community, and in the end, encouraging them to take a collective action, such as adopting a particular technology, organic farming, to solve problems like high costs in the production system. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is a participatory video? Let us try to level off by trying to look at what we mean by participatory video. In participatory video, or PV, as we also simply call it, we address one specific issue at a time. That is very important. That is always where we start. We have a problem, a prioritized problem or issue, and then we try to provide solutions to that problem using video as a tool. So we use PV so that in that video, we can see people discussing the problem, discussing the content. And after viewing it, the viewers, on the other hand, will be able to use, let's say, a new bee farming technology, a new drip irrigation technology, and practice these technologies to improve their farming. So both the video scenes and the people watching it engage in and talk about the pros and cons of solving a problem, making decisions on whether they will adapt or process it. So in participatory video, okay, here we can show, using the camera, the different facial expressions of actors or community residents in the video. We can also show how these farmers in the video listen to each other as they talk or engage in a dialogue about the increase in the cost of fertilizer. We can also see them taking action, using visual images on what they do to solve that problem. So research evidence shows that participatory video is an efficient tool, no? So that we can mobilize communities, move large specific masses of community groups to adopt something, to change their behavior, to practice a locally proven technology. And we can also use video, no, to train capacities in video production. So after undergoing this training, you can share, no, this training with your fellow members in your organizations or with your respective stakeholders in the community. You could also demonstrate how to use video in different instances in order for farmers to adopt, let's say, organic farming. Next slide, please. And so with participatory video, again, we target on a specific audience. If it is farmer, we target farmer. If it is the rural housewife, we target the rural housewife. If it is the youth in agriculture, we target the youth in agriculture, because these different audience types have different characteristics, and they may have different needs, and they may have different preferences in terms of approaches to using video. But the important thing there, whether they are farmers, fisher folk, or whether they are the youth, no, they all work together as a collective group to improve, no, a particular farming technology that will meet the issue that they have identified. And video has many different elements. So video can use the language or the local dialect. We can show different scenes or different settings in the video, a cornfield, we can go to a community store, we can go to a particular farmers organization, and then we can feature different people in the community who may be the actors in that particular video. And so in the video, we can also share different stories. Next slide, please. So that we need to remember that in participatory video, no, we talk again about a specific local issue, discuss its possible solutions, and choose information to solve it. So the more we localize the content, the more the successful our video is in terms of creating understanding, in terms of achieving the results or outcomes of that video by sharing, no, technology or information that is appropriate to the community residents. Okay, we just have 3 more slides to go. Next slide, please. So here you will see the different video approaches or usage that we can use. We will present an overview in this session because there will be more examples as we move on later to participatory video sharing techniques and methods. Okay, so we can use video to co-create knowledge and to share this knowledge created by the people. For example, if a community has locally developed and proven a simple drip irrigation technology, no, to address drought or the lack of water in the field, then we can use video to share these issues. Now, in knowledge sharing, no, we can make our video more effective by using other communication materials or complementary materials. So besides the video, we can also show a flip chart. We can also accompany this with a brochure or a poster. So the video becomes the center of the knowledge sharing. Another example is using video to raise awareness, to prepare people in times of disaster, and of course, no, to present different ways of reducing risks. So in this video, we discuss problems about climate change, we discuss problems about how to prepare the community to reduce the impact of landslides, no, in their community, or we talk about how to secure food in times of flooding or drought. And because we use video, no, there is a more realistic impact because people can see what is actually happening. Viewers can see the farmers' experiences, and they can empathize, no, with what is happening in the video. Next slide, please. Okay, a third approach or possible mechanism for using video is through dialogue, advocacy, and engagement with specific community groups. And so in this particular approach or use of the video, no, social interaction can be seen in the video itself. Let's say when you show a group of people discussing their problems, when you show an interview clip of a farmer talking to a fellow farmer discussing the problems on their farm. And again, we can also show the interaction when we are sharing the video. So we present the video, we get people's ideas or opinions about the video after watching it, and then the audience or the viewers come to a conclusion. Are we going to adapt the video or not? Are we going to practice the technology as portrayed in that video? Okay, so this is where we use video for social change, for mobilizing the community to adapt, no, specific technologies, for showing how we plan and monitor in a participatory way. And because we are involving the community, we have to get their consent. We have to get their go signal that, yes, you can involve me. Yes, I am willing to play a role in that video. And number 4, no, we can use video for internal and external communication. And this is where we focus the use of video by a particular farmers group or by a particular community association. So we choose one farmers group at a time in order for these farmer groups to realize how they can boost their crop production by starting a small business or by creating a business plan to promote and market their products more effectively. This is also where we can promote good agricultural practices to be adopted by the organization, by the farming association, and also encouraging, no, the viewers to adopt, no, measures by which they can combat the negative effects or impacts of landslides, typhoons, and other dangers or risks. And then this is where an organization can also use the video by using evidences from research in order to encourage our policymakers to craft a new policy. For example, we produce a video showing the different ways to evacuate, no, during a flood or during a landslide. And to translate this into a policy, the local community, the village leader, or the mayor may issue a memorandum saying that, okay, let us show this video on emergency preparedness, on early warning devices after the flag ceremony of the organization. Or you can also show, no, the video during the Parent Teachers Association meeting, or perhaps, no, in special events of that organization, such as a farmers field day. Next slide, please. Am I still on time?
No, we are running against the clock. If you can conclude in 1 or 2 minutes, it would be great. You're muted.
I went on mute again. I accidentally pressed it. Okay, so this is the last slide. So we can also use video and upload this video in social media sites so that farmers can advertise their products. I think this was the most effective use of video during the pandemic because farmers, entrepreneurs, no, were able to use social media websites and upload videos promoting their products, promoting their public services. And in a way, by using digital marketing, the farmer or his business is able to connect, is able to get customers in that advertising, digital advertising promotion. And then the last is what we call edutainment. This is not the first time that we have used the term. And so when we talk about edutainment, this is where we use video content that is both entertaining, relaxing, simple, attractive, and at the same time, it teaches a particular lesson or a particular technology that the viewers can watch. And Viola, the last slide, and it is expressing my thank you. And if there are any comments or questions, we can entertain them if there is time, or otherwise they can put it in the chat and we can reply to the questions on the chat or comments on the chat. That's it, Francesco. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Stella. I mean, it was a very important presentation, colleagues, because through this presentation, we understood very well the different functions of the video when it comes to increasing the flow of information, awareness raising, knowledge sharing among communities, but also advocacy. And I would like to also to focus on two main points. Now, participatory media means engagement of the communities and means collective action. And this is probably these are probably the two main elements of distinction between the participatory video and the simple production of videos. So thanks again to Madame Stella Tirol, Dean of the University of Los Baños in the Philippines. And from the Philippines, we move very fast to India because Riti Agarwal, video production manager, is going to present us now a little bit more in detail the elements of the participatory video process, meaning what we mean by pre-production, production, post-production, and sharing. We mentioned this a few times already, but it is now the moment to go into details, and we are going to do it again with Riti Agarwal, video production manager from Digital Green, based in India. Riti, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So thank you, Stella, for helping us understand what exactly is the role of participatory videos. And moving ahead, we're going to go into the 4 elements of making a participatory video. So as you can see, there is pre-production, production, post-production, and then finally sharing your video. So now I'm going to deep dive into each and every stage, and then we'll try and understand what are the key things that you should probably focus on while going through these stages. And since we're learning about participatory videos, I would encourage all the attendees to be participatory in this session and feel free to ask any questions. You can put them in the chat box or unmute yourself later at the end of the presentation and you can ask them. Can we go to the next slide? So, so we start with pre-production, which is your first step to making a video. And we start with the first thing, which is you choose a subject. So before you start shooting your video, it is very important to choose a subject which makes sense for your audience, which is in context to the local, which is in context to the local setup, and it is also keeping in mind the socio-economical factors and also the environmental factors in mind. So say suppose we're talking to a bunch of farmers, so it is important that we choose a subject which is relevant to them, right? Based on that, we develop a script, which is basically a text format of how your video is going to be, which would probably, incorporate the story, the dialogues, the dialogues and the voiceover that's going to be there in the video. And how I look at it is that it's the skeleton of your video. So it is quintessential that you that you put in time and effort here and develop a script which will help you. It'll be like a blueprint for the rest of your like for your other stages that you will be following further. Based on your script, it's always advised to prepare a storyboard. This is the part wherein you're gonna visualize the visual design of the video. So let's say that you are gonna describe each and every shot, how it looks, from what angle you're gonna take that shot, and who all are required in that shot, is essentially what a storyboard looks like. And again, I would like to put emphasis here that it is definitely the skeleton of a video. So it's quite essential to spend few extra hours and have your script and your storyboard in place, and have a strong storyboard and scripting, which will actually help you further in other processes of the video production. And also the script is kind of is kind of like a blueprint for the vision of your film, and you get to plan your production and you can also like secure and identify all of the resources that you will be needing in your next stage, which is production, and resources like human resources, what space you will need, what equipment you will need. So it's better to identify all of this in your pre-production plan itself. Can we go to the next slide? Now we come to the fun day, which is the production phase of your video production. This is where you actually go ahead and do all of the shooting, and this is when the actual recording happens. So before going into production, it's always said that like better planning will help you later. So even with production, since we're shooting with community actors and a community space, so it's very important to lock your location and who all are participating in the videos, what all equipment you need for like having a smoother experience when you're actually on ground. Because let's say you're shooting a video in a field, and you need to take permission from the person whose field it is, right? So it's always better that you do all of that before in hand, so that the day when you actually go and shoot, it's much easier for you. And it's also to keep in mind that you have a specific time bracket in which you can shoot. So if you plan all of this before in hand, then definitely you save a lot of time there. So preparing logistics is one of the key important things. Along with that, there are other things for enhancing your video later, which you also need to shoot beforehand, which could be like, preparing your animations, your graphics, your voiceovers, or actually, if you're planning on producing a high quality recording, then people actually record the ambient sound of interviews, and there are like specific protocols which one must follow. Along with that, during your production period, it's also best to have responsibilities segregated within your team, that who's going to be managing what, because I feel like the production day is, since it's the main day that you're actually going ahead and shooting everything, there's a lot going on. So there is a tendency that you might miss onto something. So this is the part where your planning is actually going to come to reality, and you must prepare for all of these things. Can we go to the next slide, please? And now we come to the third phase, which is your post-production. Post-production is often referred to as the period wherein it's also often referred to the period of video editing. And how this is, in my opinion, the most fun part, because how I see video editing is that it's the final part wherein you're stitching all of your components that you've shot before, the voiceovers, the animations, the graphics, right? And it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle wherein all the different pieces together is now is the time when you're putting it all together, and it is kind of putting a message out there. Right. So there are like several video editing apps available. Some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid. And further up in the other sessions, we will also like deep dive into video editing. So this is the part where you will put all of your shots, you'll add your text. And here again, I'd like to mention that if you have a strong script, it'll help you till the third phase of your video editing, right? So you can always refer back to one source blueprint, which is your script, and then the editor can go according to that. After that, okay, yeah, I'll quickly just wrap this up. And then we come to the part which is of pilot community sharing, which means that before you go ahead and disseminate the video to everyone, it's best practices to choose a small scale of people, a small group, and you can present the video to them and gather feedback and probably work on a few things before you go ahead and disseminate it to a larger group. Can we go to the next slide? And this here is the last part of our sharing of our video production, which is sharing the video. So there are, of course, multiple ways of sharing a video. It could either be one-on-one to an individual, or you could disseminate it to a group, or you could put it up online, or you could share it through social media, for that matter of fact. And I'm sure that like most of the participants here must have used YouTube or any other social media once, or maybe, you know, like they must have, I'm sure you guys are aware about it, and you must have noticed that there is this, there's so much data being collected on these share platforms where videos are being shared, because, you know, they constantly are keeping a tab of the number of views that a video is getting, and like till what point people are watching a video, when is it that they're shutting a video. So it's extremely important to like collect all of this data and to identify that what are the strengths and weaknesses in your video, and then according to that, moving ahead, we can make those adjustments. Can we go to the next slide? So this is the video production and sharing information and knowledge model, which basically encompasses everything that I've spoken about till now. Should I wrap up? I'll just take a minute to like wrap this up. It's just a wrap up, yeah. So so it's basically everything that we learned till now, and it starts with selecting a topic which is based on the needs of your community. Then we go ahead to preparing a script which has the content which is vetted by an expert. And then we go ahead, shoot with the local community. It's better if the language is also local. And then we get to the third part of video, which is editing and approval. So here is when you actually stitch all the video, all the shots that you've taken together with like text on it and animations and graphics. And then you also get an approval on the video. Going ahead, then you go and disseminate it to the community. And after that, you can collect data as to how your video has performed and what were the weaknesses and strengths of your video. Based on the feedback that you've collected, you can create like a new communication plan for your future productions. So that's from my side. We can move to the next slide. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Niti. Thank you very much. Very impressive presentations, also because you introduced a couple of words like protocols that might appear very difficult for our practitioners. So it's now the time over to you, colleagues, to start taking part and being the leader of this part of the training session. What we are doing right now, we are slightly delayed with our agenda. We, in the chat, my colleagues are going to include a pre-assessment tool that we have prepared in order to understand your level of understanding and preparation in regard to the topics that we are approaching. This is extremely important for us because it will enable us to shape or reshape eventually, if needed, the approach that we are going to use during these webinars. Colleagues, I will give you just 10 minutes because we are already 12 minutes delayed. So in these 10 minutes, I would like to kindly ask you, one, to fill the pre-assessment questionnaire. It will take just a couple of minutes. But secondly, the most important is to have a health break for all of us, because we are now having a lot of informations, and the more we advance and the more we need to be concentrated. Kindly consider that just after the break and the pre-assessment, we are going to reconvene for just 1 minute in the plenary, and then just after we are going to start our first group work. And in the first group work, we are going to analyze in smaller group the constraints and opportunities of using participatory video in your own context.
Thank you. So Imani is our rapporteur, and I kindly ask Danielle to show the Jamboard so he can present the results of our discussion, which it was unfortunately interrupted because time was up. Please, Imani.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. On our group, we have 2 questions, and we started tackling question number 1 on the FF initiative. What is participatory video for you, and for which purpose will you use it? We discussed that these videos will help us to simplify engagement with communities and farmers, the people whom we are dealing with. Remember, most of the people who are in this group are the farmer-based organizations, and some of us, we are implementing the FFF, programs. So
Imani, I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but you already spent 1 minute. We really have to go fast. So please avoid any detail and go into the contents, because otherwise we will never succeed. You just have 1 minute left.
Thank you very much. So simplify engagement with communities and farmers. We say that creating ownership involvement in building solutions. We say that these videos will raise awareness on advocacy issues, lobbying authorities, bottom-up approach, but knowledge sharing. These videos will simplify knowledge sharing, will help us, will bring people together. These videos will allow audiences to share the issues they are facing. And lastly, tool to showcase agricultural activities, visual representations of daily work. The question number 2, we tackled what are the constraints and opportunities of using participatory video in your work. Number 1, the constraint is language barrier. Number 2 is lack of youth engagement in farmers' organizations. Gender inclusivity was addressed, but also an opportunity to attract skilled youth. And another issue which was addressed is time management, and the last one is weather conditions. So those were the things we addressed and discussed on our group work.
Thank you very much, Imani. I'm sorry to have interrupted you, but believe me, we are really running against the clock. Group 2, Digital Greens Initiative. Nandita, over to you and over to your rapporteur.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. So I would like Aidodik from Group 2 to present the rapportage, and believe you me, it was a very interactive session and we got a lot of new insights. So over to you, Kayode.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So in Group 2, Digital Greens Initiative, using the same questions as Group 1, what is PV for you and for which purpose will you use it? We looked at for agronomy, for crop protection, communicating and sharing ideas between beneficiaries, share good practices among other members, or inculcating community sharing approaches. Another one we looked at was sharing different technical information by using video-based technology. Teach the farmers best practices via video-based approach, and also for production and natural resource management. We looked at this holistically as, well, there is a saying that show me a picture. A picture is more than 1,000 words, basically. So using video, most of these things can be used to communicate a lot of ideas and a lot of things that will make the farmers and beneficiaries to be better adapted to what is happening in and around them. 2, what are the constraints and opportunities We looked at lack of internet access, lack of infrastructure like roads, electricity as constraints. Opportunities within there, we looked at indigenous knowledge of communities can be shared with the new age farmers. Build capacity of extension workers, create training centers for building capacities, lack of well, that is a repetition of the previous constraints. Limited digital skills and lack of knowledge of scripting, storyboarding, and so on and so forth. Bridge the gap of literacy and bring the positive mindset and motivation. Bring awareness around what the video will be about, how it will influence the community, who the video is for, and also seeking consent from the beneficiaries even before we go into the field to shoot the videos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Extremely interesting. This was the Group 2 Digital Grants Initiative. We go to the Group 3, Farm Radio International. I was the facilitator, but Brenda is our magic supporter. Brenda, over to you, 2 minutes.
From Group 3, Farm Radio International, on the participatory video, while it is for us, in the purpose it will be used for, we looked at some youth preferring video to audio, so videos can be supplementary to audio messages. And we looked at connecting working activities and from different partners in the countries. Since we work with partners from different, we work with different partners, it will be a good way to connect with them. It is also a good way to connect with different community realities, connecting with the community, and also enhancing knowledge sharing, monitoring and evaluating as processes that we could use the participatory videos in. We looked at providing in-house training at the beginning of the project. It could be used there, as well as an opportunity to increase the skills of people producing the videos and at organizational level, technical, storytelling, editing, even at personal level and professional level for the people who are engaged in production of those videos. Finally, on the area of how we would use it, we looked at involving, it's a chance for involving the youth, rather the rural communities, to tell their stories from their perspective. And on question number 2, what are the constraints and opportunities of using participatory video in our work? We looked at it's a way to allocate more resources. We need more allocation of resources on the PV approach, and it being challenging to train the broadcasters. Linking up with broadcasters can be an opportunity, but also could be a challenge in terms of getting more workload, adding more workload to the broadcasters who will be involved in radio and audio production and then have to go for video production. Limitations on access to internet, for example, using smartphones, and could be a challenge, especially in rural communities. It can also facilitate gathering people in the same place and time. That's an opportunity where you need to facilitate gatherings. It will come in handy, as well as an intensive process which requires getting equipment and also reliable network, PCs, software, and the like. It will be quite one intensive process, challenging to obtain good quality products, as well as the issue of time to be spent on the production process, and then collecting opportunities from collecting opinions from the community is one other opportunity of using the PV video in our work. Cost that's involved, and that is the travels, and can also be an obstacle. when it comes to participatory video. And finally, much as it's how we'll use it, it's also an opportunity of the using participatory video in our work is that it will increase the skills of people producing the video, and that is at organizational, personal, and professional level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda. We go to the group 4 from Malawi with Nandita and Riti. Over to you, colleagues. Who is the rapporteur?
I guess for group 4, I was not there. Someone else facilitated it.
It's Andrew and Titus.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 minutes, colleagues. Please.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sure Andrew is not, I don't know if he's with us. Let me just take it up because of time. Group 4, we looked at what is the participatory video PV for you and for which purpose will you use it. So one of the things that we have discussed, farmers can freely share their knowledge and ideas, and PV can be used in sharing farmers' experience. It can also be a platform for knowledge sharing to help other farmers. It can also be a PV can be for sharing information. And secondly, we looked at what are the constraints and the opportunity of using participatory video in your work. And one of the things that we have discussed, we've got limited technical skill and know-how in video production, which is language barriers, low quality of produced videos due to lack of resources and equipment, farmers' lack of understanding of the benefits of participating in PV, and limited internet access for uploading and sharing takes 3 to 4 days in connectivity issues. And the other things that we've looked at is the availability of video editing software and computers for video production, which are our opportunities. The other one is willingness and interest of organization to engage and train in PV. Okay, and the other opportunity that we have looked at is human resource that have manpower, about 11 staffs who can produce videos. And the other thing that we've looked at is leaders of the organization are supportive to engage in PV. And the last one that, but not the least, that we've looked at is partnership with community radios who have expertise in video production. Thank you, Francisco.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, sorry. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Titus. Extremely interesting and in time. Congratulations. We are going towards the last group, colleagues. We are really very much delayed. Group 5, it's a mix. And so our facilitator was Uloma, and Uloma will tell us who is the rapporteur.
So that will be Gertrude Buyu.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Loma. Thank you, Francisco. Thank you, the team here. Our group looked at what is a participatory video, and we appreciated the fact that it is a process and a tool that improves communication for development, especially linking policy all the way to the community and allowing communication the other way as well. So it allows inclusivity. It includes everybody. So with this same strategy, you can do things at the policy level, improve communication and feedback at implementation, and what the community have to say and how they can be empowered to change. What would we use participatory video for? We would use this to bring about technology, training on new technology. We would use it for scaling up new solutions once it has been tested at a local condition, and the pilot phase can now move up. We can use the videos, they can be watched widely. and feedback can be sent back and forth. It will allow us to look into solutions that are local, involving others who are not local, but chipping in until we find a solution to fit a local context. It would allow community members to share their thoughts and their experiences and their language, and they will do this with a lot of pride because they participated in it. They will hear their voices, they'll see their faces as well. It will allow us to use it to facilitate engagement, for them to clarify what are their challenges, what are their opportunities, whether they are farmers, fisher folk, or other actors in the community. It will also entertain and educate. We believe that behavior change can be supported even by entertainment. So participatory video for us started to feel like a good art that allow us to even engage with our youth who are very creative, and even the young at heart who need to stay fit and stay connected with the rest of community. So what are the constraints that we saw when we come to applying this opportunity and these tools? We were able to reflect on the fact that we may be facing communities that are not cooperative right from the start. We will be aware that the resources will not be enough. We must be guided on how to use the little we have and make inroads. We will find ourselves in situations where the language and the culture need to be understood clearly before the message is clear. We will be aware that not everybody has access to the digital technologies and power, and we are aware of the fact that there will be the challenge of especially policymakers who are always asking us, why should they invest? They want to see if this is at the cost or the thing that brings about impact. And we were able to discuss and realize that we can link the viewership or the liking of what we produce to the changes that the people are sharing as their own testimonies. So we saw opportunities that the participatory video will give us. It will bring about a commitment to success because there is ownership. It will bring about engagement of the youth. It will bring about propel the behavior and the interest and the commitment towards a change that people can own locally. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for the opportunity to learn from the other groups. Bye.
Gertrude, thank you very much to you for presenting the outcomes of this working group. It was very, very interesting. Now, colleagues, we were supposed to have another session that we are going, of course, to postpone in terms of practicalities and how to start the pre-production process. We are going to discuss it next day, which is the 22nd, in 2 days, always at the same time. We are going to use the WhatsApp group also in order to share the possible questions that you might have from today's session. So we are going to wrap up. Right now we are already 10 minutes delayed. So use the WhatsApp group for the question and answers, and be in time next time, because we are going to start with the precise lessons about the pre-production process, how to establish contents, how to write scripts, how to write a storyboard, and so on and so forth. I leave you now the floor to my colleague Sophie Treinen, who will wrap up our first day with a few key lessons learned from this conversation and a few tips for the forthcoming sessions. Sophie, over to you.
Thank you very much, Francesco. So today it was really to understand what was the training about, how it was going to be divided into the different days. You have understood that it is a whole process, and it's just not to shoot a video and that's it, the work is done. No. You have to think about it first. So it is all the question about the pre-production. And today we really went into this, and I think that you had really good discussion to know why for, what is the purpose, for whom, how you're going to do it, how can you include people to be participatory, because that is your pre-production, all these questions that you have to ask yourself. And in the next day, you will understand even a little bit more about that pre-production. Then we have the production and then the post-production. So this will be for the next day. So I say that there is a lot of excitement, and people are really keen in knowing more, and how do I do this and how do I do that? So that will be for the next days. So this is what you learned. You also learned about, this should be part of a communication process, a communication for development process, because you have to understand well your audience, you have to understand their preference, their need, and therefore all these aspects which are part of the participatory rural communication appraisal are quite important and crucial. So I don't want to make it too long. I think that we would like also, as we are in this learning process with you, we are also in the reflection mode. We ask you to reflect about what do you know at the moment, and it is not to test you, it's just for us to understand how we are going to move with you and how this learning process is going to evolve in these 5 different days. So if you haven't done your pre-assessment, I would really ask you, please do that so that we can measure later on what we have achieved together. And as ourselves, as trainers and facilitators, we like also to improve. We are going now to launch a poll, which is a feedback form. So we are going to ask you, what do you think about this first day? What did you like the most? What did you like the least? And if there are things that needs to be changed for next session, what would it be? And we as the team, we are going to discuss this when you will be away. Just after a few minutes, we will actually have our own discussion based on your answer. So you see that this is really interactive, and we take into account and we care for your feedback. So please, you can start filling it in. We don't see your answers, but we will take your feedback into account for the next training. So also be very important, you can join the WhatsApp group. You can put your question on the WhatsApp group, because today we may not have had enough time to reply to all your questions, but don't worry. We will use this WhatsApp group and also the other days to do so. So WhatsApp group, remember how to join. For the second day, you need to register. And when you have registered, you will receive a message showing you the link for the Zoom. Also, what should I say more? I'm checking. I think we have one thing important. We have a little assignment for you. Is that we would like to, and we will put this assignment on WhatsApp as well. We would like to know whether you have a video or any type of other documents like a flyer, a website, where you or your organization are using participatory video. And so you can explain what is the relevance of participatory video in your work. So we would be really keen in having this from you. So whether it's a video, whether it's a flyer or another document, please share that with us, and you can share it on the WhatsApp group. So this is the invitation that we have for you. So with that, these are my concluding remarks. I really hope that you please give your feedback. I have only 33% of the people who have replied so far. So please, 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 I ask you, because we really need this. Don't worry, we won't know who replied. We just need to actually have an idea of how we can improve things. So the next time we meet, not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, we will go more into the pre-production phase. So I wish you all either end of a morning or a good afternoon or a great evening. And we will be pleased to see you again at the next day of the training. Thank you so much to all of you. And don't be shy, please give your feedback. We love it.